Hey everybody. This video is going to be a little bit different than my usual admittance of this video is going to be a little bit different. Simply because normally when I receive a message from somebody requesting that I speak on a topic or discuss a particular concept that I do what I can, if I have an interest in talking about that, to do so. Occasionally somebody will write me a message and ask me for advice, even now, though I'm not truly active on YouTube. I still occasionally, very rarely, receive one or two of these messages from people. Mostly from people who have been subscribed to my channel for a couple years. And even though they know that I don't really post here very often, I still, like I said, occasionally get a message. Well, I got one the other day from somebody who's been apparently watching my channel for a while, who had requested some information from me or my particular perspective on the idea of being reclusive or becoming a recluse. Because as I've said many times in my videos, I'm a recluse, or I choose to be reclusive. I pull myself away from society and don't interact with society. Now, a lot of people usually take that statement to say that I'm some sort of, that I have a weakness in the social interaction aspect, that I'm a social reject. I don't know how to be socially interactive. I have for many years, interacted socially outside of my room. I've gone out and I've hung out and I've gone to parties and I've gone to social gatherings and I've done all of that stuff. It is through my experiences in those environments that my attitude to stay away from society in general was formed. For the majority of the people that I deal with, in my estimation and in my perspective, suck. The advantage to that is most people think that other people suck. The idea that has been put forth by many different groups is the saying that goes, diversity is the spice of life. If everybody was exactly the same, then life would be boring. Now, I have to say that I disagree with that simply because of the fact that if everybody was the same, and the template for that similarity was based on a person who had a multitude of interests and a multitude of concepts that they investigated, then that means that everybody out there would have a multitude of interests and a multitude of concepts that they investigate. So if I'm looking into the culture of ancient Egypt, you might be looking into the history of music, both of which are interests of mine, just as they are both interests of yours, but they're not the same thing. You going one direction, I go in another direction, in a wide spectrum of options. So that's why I think that that statement, if everybody was exactly the same, life would be boring, is a load of shit. But regardless of that, the question still stands: how does one decide if being a recluse is right for them? And I would have to say that the only way to answer that question is to simply say that I don't really think it's a decision. I don't think I woke up one day and said, I'm just going to avoid people. I woke up and repeatedly said, I'm tired of dealing with people. And then slowly, over time, reduced my interaction with other people because I realized that the pros did not outweigh the cons. The first step you need to do is decide if the part of society that you're interacting with, whatever it may be, if you're a social animal and you go to clubs and bars, which is the weakness of my age group. If I want to be socially active in my age group, then I have to go to bars and I have to go to clubs to meet other people of a similar age and be able to interact with them. If I want to go to the mall, I'm sure I could find a bunch of 16, 15-year-olds to hang out with. And if I want to go to an IKEA, I'm sure I could find some 70-year-olds to hang out with. But because I'm in the Generation X/Generation Y, where I'm 35 years old. So for me to find social equals, I have to go to where they go. I don't drink. I don't believe in pointless one-night stands. And I don't believe in getting into a fight to prove how big my testicles are, which for some strange reason, at this age, that's still a viable option. If I go to a bar, I go to a club, there's still an opportunity to get into a fight with some douchebag who has the IQ of a fucking shoe, who thinks the way that they prove how manly they are is by beating up on other people. I've never understood that mentality. But I choose to be reclusive because, A, in order for me to interact with other members of my societal niche, I have to do things that I don't enjoy. B, there are very few people out there that share the same interests that I do. I'm a big kid. I'm 35 years old. I work with computers. I mean, there's plenty. If I was back in the Bay Area, there's plenty of people like that, of course. But, I'm 35 years old. I play video games. I read. I watch movies. I'm a big kid. And I'm an adult. I pay bills and I take care, and I have responsibilities that I need to take care of. And I take care of myself and support my family when I need to support them. But still, so that's not exactly grounds for the kind of social interaction that a person like me is going to find. I'm a dork. I'm not in a dork environment anymore, especially out here in Colorado. You just got to decide what works for you. That's the truth. If you feel that there is more to be gained by removing yourself from socially interacting with other people, that you can find more fulfillment by pursuing things on your own time, in your own space, with minimal to no interaction with other people, then that works for you. But if you're just looking for an answer because you're angry with the way society works, but you're the kind of person that needs the input, that needs the feed that being around other people gives you, then being a reclusive person isn't going to work. It's going to be more painful for you. You're going to feel like you're going to feel empty. It's just a reality of the situation. If you are not the kind of person who can live and be by themselves for extended period of time, and I'm talking, I've been in this apartment, I've been living here for 7 months. I have no friends. I've been spending literally countless weeks in my apartment by myself, chatting online occasionally, playing video games, and reading. I go out occasionally, go to the store, maybe take a walk around the neighborhood just so I can stretch my legs. But for all intents and purposes, I spend all of my time alone. If that is if that is not something that you can do, if that is not something that you can be comfortable with, you're only asking to put yourself in a world of hurt. Believe me, man, there are times where even I say, I wish I had at least a friend, somebody that I could bounce ideas off of, because I can sit here and think myself into a black hole. And I'll be confident and comfortable enough to do that, but even I need something to feed off of occasionally to help me turn the gears a little bit faster, turn them in a different angle. So yeah, that's not as helpful as I think you were hoping it would be. Simply the truth is that if it's something that you're going to choose, you have to decide, you have to be sure that the positives are not outweighed by the negatives of interacting with the rest of the world. And if they are, if the negatives are stronger than the positives, the next step is to find out if you can live with yourself. If you can't stand yourself or you can't be by yourself, then you're looking, excuse me, then you're looking to make things a lot more complicated, because you're going to be stuck by yourself, looking at yourself, dealing with yourself on a day-to-day basis. I wish I could be more helpful, and I hope it works for you. I hope that the decision that you make to walk away from society and walking away from people in general is the right decision. But I really do think that it's something you should really, truly think about, because if you really do want to squirrel yourself away in an apartment for 7-8 months at a time, you got to be ready for the commitment of doing that and being able to find stimulation in yourself that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. So that answers your question. Long-winded way of saying it. All right, that's it. I wish I had more to put out here. I'm sure I could babble for another 15 minutes and say the exact same thing in 150 different ways. So until next time, talk to you later.